और आइए इस वक्त सीधे आपको राइजिंग इंडिया प्रोग्राम में लिए चलते हैं।
I mean, it's not something which just happened by itself. You've had G20 summits before. To the best of my knowledge, no other country said, okay, we are 20 countries round the table. There are 180 countries which are not round this table. So should we make an effort to find out what their expectations are of us? I think, to the best of my knowledge, we are the first country to have done that. And we actually, starting with Prime Minister himself and, 5 of us, including Piyush who was here before me, we all spoke to our counterparts. We actually consulted 125 nations with this one question, which is, we're going into G20, so tell us your key concerns and what is it we can articulate. That's one part of it. I think the other part of it is also, we have in this whole period since February 24th last year, we have tried to press for you can say a return to peace, a return to negotiations. Yeah. In that sense, we have taken an independent position. I wouldn't say we're the only ones, but we certainly are among the more prominent ones. I do believe there is a real body of opinion out there, including in the G20. Mm-hmm. I would say a country like, say, Mexico or Brazil or Argentina or Indonesia, Saudi Arabia. I think many of them share similar views. Probably we've been the more outspoken among them. Both in terms of the north-south divide as well as the east-west polarization, I think we have tried to be the bridging force there. And the world needs somebody like us.
So you're talking about the G20, and of course this is a big year for India. The session is called India's G20 moment. But how worried are you that there's so much fixation around a joint statement or the lack of it at the end of one? Because we had the foreign ministers meeting, you chaired that a few weeks ago. We had an outcome document, I believe, not a joint communique. Similarly, again, in the finance ministers meeting. Is there too much fixation on a joint statement?
Well, let me speak about the one which
Sure.
I chaired. We had a meeting. We had a outcome. We were negotiating essentially a 24-paragraph document. We had agreement on 22 paragraphs. There were 2 paragraphs pertaining to Ukraine, which basically was a carry forward of what happened at Bali, on which we could not get agreement. So, in a sense, we had to do a chair summary for the
Sure.
part we couldn't, and the outcome document for the part we could. Now, we have to be real about it. I mean, look at the state of the world. In this state of the world, if I could get 22 out of 24, so what's that in percentage terms?
About 95%.
95%. Okay, I never got 95% in school. So I would say, I was not dissatisfied. I would have liked to get 100%, which would have been a novel experience for me. But
you were one of your toppers in the services. You went to a top university.
Well, we'll put that aside.
We'll park that aside.
No, but look, my point is, what we really managed to do in the G20. I agree with you that one shouldn't be textually obsessed, though text does matter.
Sure.
I think our real contribution was to get the G20 back to the G20's real business. The G20 is not the Security Council. It's not the primary forum to debate international peace and security. I'm not saying international peace and security doesn't matter or doesn't have economic consequences. They do. But if you look today at the world, there are serious issues for the world to worry about. Food and energy security, green financing, Agenda 2030, trade issues, debt issues. we actually got something very novel for G20 to look at, and which I would like to build on, which is something called global skill mapping. That where are the skills in the world and where is the demand in the world? And they are in two different geographies.
Yeah.
So how do we actually put that together? I think that's a very interesting avenue that we have opened up for the G20. So the original mandate of the G20 was global growth and development. Now last year, because of the Ukraine conflict, I think the conversations went in the direction of one issue. We would like to see, without disrespecting that particular issue, we would like to see a return to what we believe matters most to the roughly 200 countries of the world. And in that sense, I would say more than getting 22 out of 24. I would take satisfaction in the fact that the finance ministers meeting in Bangalore and Bengaluru and my meeting in Delhi, we were able to get the G20 back on track.
So you're confident that in September when the leaders meet, a bulk of the conversations will be around the issues that you just outlined?
I would say yes, that should be the progression. Every G20, there is a strong element of continuity. And there are some new ideas which come in. My sense is that you would see some ideas come in as well. Probably a bit early, may take a few meetings more for that to move. But I would certainly hope that by September, we would have a G20 leaders meeting which would look at the crucial issues pertaining to global growth and global development.
Sure. So one of the consequences, I guess, because of the war, perhaps it's been accentuated because of the war, is the world is increasingly looking like two blocks. You have